Continuing to follow that breaking news out of Dauphin Island, a fire in the area began late last night and has destroyed at least 4 homes plus a local restaurant. Fox 2 News reporter Alexa Knowles is there now. Alexa, what can you tell us about what the situation is right now?
Well, right now they're still putting out flames behind me, but we're going to put you into the scene right now. We are on Sandpiper Street on the west end of Dauphin Island, and the other fire happened about 3 miles down the road by the water tower at the Dauphin Island Barbecue and Seafood Restaurant. This, I'm told, the fire department says this is the house that started it. There is nothing left here. You can see this car is completely burned. Everything inside the home is gone and is now in ashes. And take a look over here. Then it spread over this way into this house, and that's the fire chief right there. He's still putting out the flames. He's got the hose in his hand, and there's been, as this house, he says, as this house has been collapsing, the flames have gone up a little bit more there. And it's been a hectic night and morning, they say. It started around midnight. The fires were about 30 minutes apart. All the firefighters, there are about 45 of them. They're all volunteer firefighters, and the chief says some of them actually have jobs to do today. And the wind is blowing right now off the beach because we are right along the beach, but it wasn't last night. That's why these 4 houses burned the way they did. Now, if the wind had been blowing like it is right now, all these houses, and if you pan to the right, that house right here with the blue shutters, if the wind had been blowing like it is right now, that house right there and all the houses down that street would have been up in flames as well. So residents who live down that road say they are really lucky and happy that that was not happening last night. And even though this is devastating, fire department says they are happy that it is only 5 houses. We talked to Fire Chief Brad Cox earlier today. He says this hasn't happened in 5 years. Earlier he said 3 years, and now it is 5 years, and he says they are just doing everything they can to make sure that more houses don't get burned.
Occasionally, we will do what's called a fire watch, where we will have someone come by here approximately every 30 minutes to make sure nothing has reignited or needs attention.
And more sad news from this story as well. There was 1 fatality, but the chief says they are not sure quite yet if that fatality is a cause of the fire or not. But neighbors who were here this morning say they did see somebody run back inside of a house. They say to get a fire extinguisher, he came back out and collapsed in the road, and then they don't know what happened to him. All they know that he has died from cardiac arrest. So again, the coroner is still figuring out what happened there. The fire department has not issued a statement about if that is because of the fire or not, but he was found on the beach across the street from where these fires happened, and we'll just have to see what happens there. But 1 person has died, a man has died, and 4 houses are gone, as well as a local restaurant here on Dauphin Island. So a sad night on Dauphin Island, but residents say the community is coming together to help everybody here, and we'll just have to clean up from all the trouble that's happened on Dauphin Island. I'm Alexa Knowles, Fox 10 News.
Teamwork is all about working together. At Chickasaw High School, the Chieftains learned about that firsthand over the last few weeks, as one player in particular got the chance to play under the lights.
Any chance I get to help the team, I'll do it.
Sophomore Noah Morgan lives by those words. The proud Chieftain is a kicker on the football team, and the last 2 weeks have proved to show what hard work is all about. Noah has arthrogryposis, a joint contracture that has caused little to no use in his arms.
Set, go.
But his weakness off the field doesn't affect his strength on the field.
I used to be nervous, but I got over that because I felt like everybody believed in me.
That support started from his teammate James Cordova, who decided during the homecoming game to let Noah execute what he's practiced for all year long.
Noah Morgan's just like me. We're both kickers. And it was just an emotional moment because we were up 20-0. I was like, Coach, you should let Noah in.
Head coach John Beverly gladly let his player call the shot and put Noah in.
I knew Noah was ready. He works hard. He practices. He does everything the coaches asked of him. And it wasn't a shadow of a doubt in my mind, when James said that he wanted to send him in.
After a successful kick at homecoming, the next game was already on Noah's mind and the minds of his parents.
I was so excited I couldn't even really contain myself. We acted like he had scored the winning touchdown in the last minute of the game.
See him make it, it brought tears to our eyes. It's a joy. It's a joy in itself.
For Noah and James, though, it's not just about the game. It's about teamwork, and more importantly, their friendship. The reason it all happened in the first place.
It felt really great because I feel like that he's always believing in me because I'm always doing hard work, me and him always working together. And he's just a great teammate, and he's like my brother. I do the same exact thing for him.
We're real good friends. I hold for him at practice. We just make each other better, no matter what. Friendship that lasts forever.
When you have that support, you just don't let it bother you because you can do anything you want when you put your mind to it.
Chickasaw is 4-4 on the season and off tonight. The Chieftains host Millry next Friday at 7 p.m.
What a sweet story. And the parents, you know, they're just so touched and filled with emotion. And meantime, the kid's like, I did it. You know, I got this.
They've got a kicker. They've got two kickers.
He nailed it.
I know it. Right through the uprights.
To look at this is heartbreaking.
A normally peaceful paradise, now a smoldering heap of ashes after a fire blasted through 4 homes on Sandpiper Street on the west end of Dauphin Island last night. And a restaurant many island goers know well, Dauphin Island Barbecue and Seafood, is also a heap of ashes after a separate fire tore through there.
The fire was put out last night, but smoke is still coming from the Dauphin Island Barbecue and Seafood restaurant. All that's left is the metal roof and ash and dust. It's the same scene 3 miles down the road where another fire burned down 4 homes.
This is where, from what we saw, everything started.
Cindy Schumann spent a lot of time in one of the homes.
Just can't believe it.
She says she got a call just before 1 in the morning from her mother saying their beloved family home was on fire.
We're devastated. There's been many happy memories there.
John Pearson says he is thankful his house didn't catch on fire too. He lives across the street from the 4 homes, and he says looking at the devastation makes him realize how close it came.
Just everything was on fire. So they were kind of evacuating everybody out.
He says the scene may be too much for his family to see.
We're supposed to be here for Labor Day. I don't know if we're going to do it. I'm not sure. I want my kids to see it yet, you know.
2 fires in one night is not only unusual, but especially rare for the island, which hasn't had a fire for 5 years. Neighbors on Sandpiper Street say it took a while for fire trucks to arrive. They say they now know that's because firefighters were battling another fire down the road. The chief of the Dauphin Island Fire Department, Brad Cox, says 6 other fire departments came to help. Cox says now he's helping residents start the healing process.
I care about the community. So, you know, we move into the mode now where we make sure these people are taken care of to get their insurance taken care of, make sure we know what's going on, and that they can move on by cleaning up safely.
Dauphin Island Mayor Jeff Collier says he is confident the community will pull together.
We will recover from this, and we'll get back up and running. But this is certainly one of those types of things that it's just one of those tragic situations that you'd like to not to see happen.
And not only did people lose their homes, officials say one man lost his life. Neighbors say they saw his last moments last night.
Somebody in one of these 4 houses actually ran across the street onto the beach to get away the fire, and he collapsed.
The police and fire department say they do not know if the man died because of the fire, but Pearson says he thinks the man suffered from a heart attack. Chief Cox also says the firefighters are keeping watch on the fires every 30 minutes to make sure there isn't any more devastation. On Dauphin Island, Alexa Knowles, Fox 10 News.
We just want them to know we're praying for them and thinking about them through a hard time.
With engines revved, helmets on, and teddy bears strapped in.
Everybody from angel riders to soldiers of the cross, everybody's here.
More than 500 bikers from around the Gulf Coast rolled in for Dakota Burke Everett's funeral.
We believe children should be taken care of.
The toddler died with skull and collarbone fractures and burns on her hands and feet.
Should have never happened. It should have never happened. That little girl didn't deserve what she got, and we're here to stand behind the family with our family.
Poor little Dakota is such a precious thing. We hate it, and we want to come and support her and her family and see if we can't stop this child abuse going on.
The biker stood in silence for prayer, then led the funeral procession to the cemetery in 8 Mile where Dakota was laid to rest. Traffic on Dauphin Street was stopped for more than 15 minutes as a line of bikes spilled onto the intersection. Several bystanders stood across the street to show their support for the bikers and for a little girl taken too soon.
It's kind of overwhelming how many showed up here. That's a tragedy, and hate to be out here for this reason, but it's just an unbelievable thing.
In Mobile, Rebecca Hager, Fox 10 News.